Allahabad High Court has today acquitted the two prime accused in the infamous Nithari murder case involving Surinder Kohli, innocent in the 12 cases against him, while his co-accused Muninder Singh Pandher was found innocent in 2 cases against him. So now what this means is the death sentence that had been awarded.
Between 2005 and 2006, a terrible secret was kept hidden in the darkest corners of Nithari village in India, just waiting to be revealed. It all started in the year 2005 in the serene village of Nithari, located in the busy corners of Noida. This serene village was the least likely spot for any terrifying ordeal to happen. Life was simple, and the villagers went about their daily routines completely unaware of the dark shadow that emerged on the horizon. The Nithari tragedies, a sequence of dreadful incidents between 2005 and 2006, included the abduction, assault and harmful acts against children and women from Nithari village. Before we dive deeper into this true crime story, please subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments. In December 2006, disposed body parts were found in a drain behind the house of a businessman named Muninder Singh Pandher. The villagers were so terrified when they found out about these terrible events. Upon discovery, the police were informed. Without wasting any time, the police came to the scene and rapidly took Muninder Singh Pandher and his assistant Surinder Kohli into custody. The body parts that had been disposed of indicated the existence of a horrifying and devastating string of crimes that had occurred over a 12-month period. After a thorough investigation, the police discovered that a total of 18 cases of harm and loss of life had taken place, involving young girls and adult women and children. In 2009, Pandher and Kohli, then under custody, were transported to Ganghinga for comprehensive brain mapping and necroanalysis tests. The intention behind these examinations was crystal clear: to uncover the terrible facts behind the 18 cases of harm and loss of life affecting young girls and adult women and children that were allegedly perpetrated by these two individuals. These shocking revelations had the power to not only shock the investigators, but also spread fear throughout the entire nation, leaving everyone in disbelief. While undergoing the necroanalysis tests, Surinder Kohli made deeply disturbing confessions. He believed that his urge to commit these heinous acts was driven by his employer, Muninder Pandher. Kohli had the firm belief that Pandher was the force behind the demon within him, pushing him towards committing acts of violence, assault, and even acts of consumption involving the victims. Kohli was reported to have expressed the confessions that, "I too experienced an overwhelming urge. The demon in me used to wake me up." This confession emerged during the tests, leaving those conducting the examinations in a state of shock and anger. It was a revelation that deeply unsettled them. According to the change sheet filled by Central Bureau of Investigation, the CBI, Kohli was labelled as having an unusual interest in deceased bodies, and this condition was referred to as necrophilic tendencies. Additionally, he was said to suffer from necrophagy, a condition where a person consumes human flesh, which is considered highly unusual and distressing. However, the reports from the Directorate of Forensic Scientists, DFS, disclosed that Kohli had no identified mental or personality disorders. Instead, the motivation behind these acts lay at his imagination and an overwhelming urge to commit violence. The DFS reports unveiled the disturbing aspects of Kohli's desires. He stated that call girls frequently coming into the house nearly every evening, and he would secretly observe them from the shadows. These observations would fuel his dark desires even more. Kohli's emotional distress reached a critical breaking point when he started having disturbing dreams. He saw a young woman in a white dress taunting him. These haunting nightmares eventually drove him to commit acts of assault and harm, as it seemed to be the only way he could find comfort from his inner demon. While under the influence of necroanalysis, Coley disclosed the horrifying specifics of his deeds. He remembered attempting inappropriate acts with 13 individuals, strangling 15 victims, beheading 11 of them, and broke down 14 bodies into smaller parts. These body parts were carefully placed in double plastic bags and disposed of in a nearby drainage area. In another horrific confession, Coley admitted to attempting to eat one of his victims' livers after mistaking it for another organ. Coley had confessed to having eaten the flesh of his victims on 2 instances after cooking it in a pressure cooker. His actions were incredibly horrible, disturbing everyone around the country. The report also uncovered an unsettling detail that might have played a role in Coley's skillful dissection and disposal of the bodies. Coley had prior experience in handling of bodies of animals sacrificed at a temple in his village, which could have contributed to his capabilities in this regard. Curiously, both the CBI charge sheet and the DFS reports cleared Mohinder Panda of any wrongdoing. They stated that he had no knowledge of the crimes committed by Coley, absolving him from direct involvement. This was because he was a prosperous businessman with influential connections. Panda faced accusations related to arranging for call girls, involvement in illicit activities, bribing police officers, and destroying evidence related to Coley's crimes. Even though there were doubts about whether Panda knew nothing about the crimes, his alibi remained strong because he wasn't at home when these incidents happened. After a thorough investigation, in a series of convictions, Surinder Coley, along with Mohinder Singh Panda, were found guilty of multiple heinous crimes involving the murder of young girls in Nithari. Coley received 5 death sentences for his involvement in these crimes. However, after several legal proceedings and appeals, his sentence was eventually changed to life imprisonment due to prolonged delays in the justice system. On July 24, 2017, both Coley and Panda were sentenced to death in the 8th case of 16 by the CBI court in Ghaziabad. But after 17 years of legal battles, on October 16, 2023, both Coley and Panda were acquitted of all charges. Money, status, and connections ruled this case. This disappointing decision was made by Allahabad High Court, which raised concerns about the quality of the investigation and integrity of the Indian authorities and suggested that they may have wrongly implicated a poor servant while failing to probe more serious aspects of possible organised criminal activity. The families who sought justice have endured profound emotional pain, and many believe that the real culprits still need to be held accountable in a higher court.